This is Peter again from Clark Memorial International High School, and I want to continue on from the last video of where we talked about different question types, okay? One thing that I did forget to mention, and I should have, but that's okay, is that what I'm doing is I'm going through a typical writing process for, say, for example, the TOEFL IBT. However, you will see these type of questions on a range of different tests. So the skills that you learn or what you study, what you remember, you can take into tests that you do, okay? So let's think back for a second at the first video, what you just watched before, and think about what we talked about. We talked about the type of question, okay? So we talked about independent question types. Now, number one, do you remember what the first one was? Preference questions, good. And then number two, do you remember what the second one was? All right, agree, disagree, good stuff, okay? And so the third one, the last one, right, can you recall? Others, very good. Okay, so we're gonna have a look at this question here, and I want you to think about what question type it is. It's in the independent question type, but which question is it? Okay, so I'll read it to you, okay? So, question, okay? Which do you prefer? Living in the countryside or in a big city? One more time. Which do you prefer? Living in the countryside or in a big city? Okay, and the little tag here is just basically like give reasons and examples, right? This helps you to explain what your opinion is, what you think about the thing, right? So, can you think? What type of question? Remember, we have 1, preference, 2, agree, disagree, 3, other. Think, 3, 2, 1. All right, preference questions, good stuff. Okay, so we're looking at preference questions, right? Now, what you need to do is you need to think about this just for a second. You have two options, okay? You have living in the countryside or living in a big city, okay? Both of these, the countryside and a big city, both have good points. There are good points about both. And both of these have their down points, right? Things that you wouldn't like to see, okay? So let's have a look at the board, right? Think about it just for a second, okay? And think about, so let's go here, countryside, big city, okay? So living in the countryside, what are some good points about living in the countryside? Just think for 10 seconds. And I'll be really quiet. Okay, did you think of any ideas? Why is living in the countryside good? Okay, I can think of some. Okay, one is the countryside is very quiet. Okay, I'm getting old now, so I like the peace and quiet, right? Some people don't. I like the quiet, okay? Another thing that I can think about living in the countryside is there is a lot of space. Okay, we have a lot more space in the country, and I'm an outdoor kind of guy, right? So I like to have the space, right? Also, another thing is probably it's I'll write this. Not many people, right? Again, I like the quiet, I like having the open space, so of course, naturally, not many people is good. That's for me, okay? But some people like the big city, okay? Now, the big city, okay, I can think of a couple of reasons, right? Big city, jobs is a good idea, okay? Lots of job opportunities, right, for the future, okay? Also, entertainment. Entertainment is another thing, right, that people go for. Movies, live music, eating out, right, this sort of stuff. Entertainment's very important, right? So we have jobs, entertainment, right? And we could also possibly have something that is very important if you're moving around a lot, right, is public transport. Public transport is obviously really good in the city, Okay, whereas in the country it might be a little bit difficult, more difficult waiting for a bus or waiting for a train, right? You may live in a place where it doesn't even have a train station. But anyways, so we have these ideas, right? Now, for me, I think writing about this side here, living in the countryside, is easier. Okay, I guess because these things are so important to me, right? However, if I get these ideas, right, and I get these ideas, but I think to myself, I prefer this. I prefer living in the countryside, but living in a big city is easier to write about. I might write about this, even though it's not really true. I still might go with this, right? Because it may give me a little bit more time to write. I don't have to think as much because it's easier to write about. But anyways, I'm going here. It's quiet, it's spacious, and there's not many people. Okay, so in the next video, what we'll talk about is how to write your core statement, right? How to write out your opinion. Okay, so please make sure you come back. Please join me, okay, for the next video, right? Don't forget, hang in there, getting through academic writing success, and we'll get you into the places you want to go, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks for coming. See ya.